Good evening. It is Tuesday, November 24th. Skipped yesterday. It's a fun evening with friends. We gamed. And they did not get through nearly as much of the dungeon as I expected. So we'll see what they do next week. But I guess I don't have a table this week because that's taking it up. Today, I got off work and I was like, I'm hungry. So I'm looking into my fridge and I'm trying to figure out. I was like, I got some chicken. I have the chicken from when I made the buffalo chicken dip. I made it twice, but I still end up with like the legs and the wings that I don't really make with that. So I've finished wiping out the oven, and I put the rack that I wasn't using previously, so it was already clean in there. I still need to clean the one from that I was using mostly before because it's gross. But that's a pain in the butt. I don't feel like doing it, so I put in the one that works, and I cook that rest of the chicken. I'm like, and there was enough there. I'm like, if I wanted to use just dark meat, I could have made a third batch, but oh well. By the time I figured that out, it was too late. So. And I mean, just chicken's good, but when I just make heat up the rotisserie chicken and it's on the bone, I don't, it's messy. It is a messy thing to eat, because I can't use a knife and a fork and get around the bones. You gotta just pick it up and eat it. And then I'm all gross. I hate that. But I was hungry and I'm not now, so I guess it solved the problem. Anyways. Today, I was on my breaks and I'm checking through Twitter. And I am subscribed to the Twitter. I follow the Twitter for Affinity. Affinity is the company that makes the software that I use to make planetary fragments. And if you remember, when I was making that book, I was kind of stressed out about the time, because I'm like, I have to finish it by this day. And I was really stressed out, really hoping it comes back fine, so I didn't need to re-edit it. Because if it took me, not that, I had to get it out by a certain time, but because I think it was a 10-day trial. And if it took longer than 10 days, I would have to buy the software. I want to buy the software. I want to learn the software more. I want to be able to use it. However, the reason I follow their Twitter is because I was waiting for a sale. Their Black Friday sale has begun, 30% off everything. So they're $50 per program. I used Affinity Publisher and Affinity Photo to make that book. Affinity Publisher to do all the layout, and Affinity Photo when I needed to take all the pictures and convert their color space from the digital version to the print version. So those are each $50, and I get 30% off. So it's what, 30 bucks off between the two of them? However, they make a third program, Affinity Designer. Which is basically, it's a vector program, software for vector tools. So for making vector art. Now, I've never done anything with that. However, one of the YouTube channels that I follow, Artifexium, I think, does world building, and they did a series earlier in the year on doing map creation within InDesign using vector, which basically means that you can, the thing with vectors art is when it's in, until you export it as a different file format, you can just keep zooming in and adding more detail. You just keep going in. So, that being the case, I decided I would also like to learn how to use that software, because then I could, well, it's obviously going to be different than the methods he showed because it was a different piece of software. Same general concept. So I want to get that too. So I'll basically be $45 off between the three pieces of software that I want to get. So I'm going to say awesome. Sale has begun. I need to pick those up. So I'm going to get that taken care of. And so I got not only the 3 Affinity software things purchased, I also bought a couple of brush packs that were cheap. I don't know if I'll ever use them, but between the two of them, it was an extra $15, and they look interesting. One that's like a nature brush set, and one that's like a watercolors brush set. And I'm like, those might just be fun to play with. Now, I didn't get any of that installed. I did make sure to purchase it so that I don't forget and miss out on the sale. I'll install it another time. Instead, I used the last couple of hours. I edited one of the Dwarven Forge unboxings that I'd done like a month ago. It's a video. It's gonna be put up next year, so I wasn't rushed to get to it. But I'm like, let's take the time. Let's start getting that. I want to start soon uploading things for next year too. I'm thinking. I was sitting here thinking, I'm like, do I want cake? Cake sounds good, but I'm like, I don't really have enough time. If I make cake with as long as cake takes to cool down before I can ice it, I won't actually get to eat cake. Just thinking about things, I'm like, you know what else is good? Corn muffins. I got a box of corn muffin mix, so I made some corn muffins. Best if used by 12/06/19. So, you know, I needed to get that box of corn muffins used before it is a full year expired. I didn't know it was that expired until I literally just then I looked at it. I'm sure they're still fine. Anyway, so I'll have some corn muffins. And I think, you know, I still got a bit of time before going to bed. Hour and a half. I didn't get any painting on the minis. I'd set up the new set of minis, the dinosaurs, and I got them all washed this weekend, but they're all still just sitting there, white and gray. I'm gonna start getting that base layer of black put on those. Beyond that, I'm pretty much just gonna go to bed. Thank you for joining me, and join me as my journey continues. Bye.